Today we're going to do operators and how you can use them to change the way a meaning is interpreted and create new ideas very quickly. These are some examples of what you can do with at least these 4 operators. So like when you add wisdom to faith, it becomes the wisdom of faith. When you aver madness and fear, it becomes the interaction between the two or the difference. When you remove faith from madness, it becomes just a behavior problem. And the inversion of fear is bravery. What these let you do is travel between different fields of interest and allow you to invent new concepts built off of the modification of other concepts that you're familiar with and could potentially like simply because you like the other ones like it. An interesting example of what you could do is take science and add magic to make it equal coincidence. The pen's not working. This is the following topic for the day because it's not understood very well. If you've never heard of what magic is, it's mostly just doing a spell and having something occur after it that was desired by the spell. But sometimes it doesn't work, and there's a reason for that. Because you probably asked for something that's very rare, or you asked for something and didn't find it because you weren't in the right spot. But there's a few ways to improve your chances simply based off of knowing that it's just a coincidence and knowing how those coincidences occur. Here are some examples of what people use magic to attain. Each one I'm going to talk about in detail and how you can improve the chances of having them occur. For wisdom, the easiest way is to read a book. But if you want new wisdom that someone hasn't discovered yet, then you'll have to do something other than read a book to find that wisdom. Just casting a spell for wisdom might give you some, in the sense that later you might think of something that you didn't think of before. But it's so much easier to just try thinking of stuff on your own than waiting for it to just magically fall from the sky. Because there are plenty of ways to go beyond someone else's ideas simply by trying to, or even using what I showed at the beginning of this video to find something that you haven't heard of before. It's just that waiting for wisdom with coincidences is fun, but not, efficient. If you're looking for an encounter with something that's divine, like a spirit or something, don't cast a spell and sit at home waiting for it to show up. Go outside if it's a nature spirit or something and go to where it resides. Because you're more likely to encounter something of resemblance to it where it lives than waiting for it to come to your house and, I don't know, discuss whatever you want to discuss with it. This makes sense because, say, the spirit of trees, there's no trees around. Why is it going to show up and talk to you next to your television? If you go to where there's trees, you might see something, some sort of presence after setting up that initial cause and effect. I can't tell you what that would be, but you're more likely to encounter something where you are always present. If that makes sense, because the novelty of the scenario creates the coincidence that works. The attempts at success at something don't just come with casting a magic spell and then hoping it helped. It comes with practice and work. And lots of stuff in magic can totally help you with that. But you have to do the work, or you'll be unable to do it as well. If you're looking for success anyways, if you're just looking to do something, then go right ahead. But if you want success in something, you have to try. You have to do it. Usually more than once. Lastly, if you want some sort of material object with your magic and you don't have money, and it's not a car. I mean, you could do this with a car, but it's going to take you a while. If you want something that either you can't afford or you can't get access to because it just happens not to be in your town at the stores, you can always build it, and you can usually succeed at most basic things with that, and you might not even have to pay near as much as you would have, especially if you go and look around for parts of that object that are just lying around outside. That usually people just find their things that they casted magic spells for. So take advantage of the natural, coincidental appearance of objects on the floor rather than explicitly waiting for it to appear completely as one thing. But once again, that's up to you. A good example of something you might want that you don't have is tarot cards. I like tarot cards. You don't have to buy those. You can draw them yourself and then pay $3 plus the ink costs to print them out, or just buy $3 decks of cards from a printer shop and draw them on the card. The interesting thing about that is that once you've done it yourself, you can then produce it for other people who may want it simply because it's not the same as something you would usually get. So it ends up being sometimes better than just going out to buy it. because it's easier. Or not. It doesn't even matter. It might not be as easy as it looks to just go buy it in certain cases. I wish I could go to Hawaii and drink a cold drink, because the weather outside is fucking bullshit. Ah. Relaxing and exactly the same. Sweet. Cool.